Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I want to share a benefit concerning the Imam, the Mujaddid, the revivalist, Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab rahimahullah. That scholar that done so much for Islam. That scholar that authored various of books in the topic of Aqidah, in the topic of fiqh, of jurisprudence. This scholar that we continue to benefit from his works to this very day. This Imam does not require a biography from ourselves. However, I wanted to address in this audio a misconception that is constantly repeated about this Imam, which portrays him as a bloodthirsty character and that a man that is constantly excommunicating the Muslims and wishes to remove them out of the realm of Islam. So this doubt has been tackled in books that have been written with their detailed references, but I want to just quickly highlight some of the words of this Imam in this audio and show what has happened of oppression to this Imam, where people have taken some words that were ambiguous from his statements and taken out of context, or they have tampered his speech, or they have taken something that was specific and made general. So I wanted to point this out. Really, it's incumbent that we should all be fair. Ma'al qarib wal ba'id. We should be all fair with those who we love and with those who we may dislike. But really, there are many enemies to this Imam. But really, he came at a time where many were in opposition to his call. People were attached to graves. People worshipping trees. In fact, in his own city, Uyayna, there was approximately 16 trees that were worshipped, that people would do acts of worship around them. So this Imam, he came at a sensitive time, calling to Tawheed in that particular area, which brought about hatred towards him. But really, he was against supplicating to the saints, doing prostrations to the graves, sacrificing, doing tawaf around the graves, believing that the awliya, the saints, have control in the universe and that they have the keys to the hellfire. They can close it whenever they want, and that they can grant to you anything of even specific qualities that is only for Allah. They can do so. So this Imam, because of him calling Tawheed at that specific timing, many had hatred towards him, and many falsely accused him and labeled him as an individual that wanted to bring harm to the people at large. So I wanted to address this, inshallah. It's very important that we understand who this scholar was in his statements, and we know that it's upon us to defend the honor of a Muslim, let alone an honor of a scholar. So I'm going to be reading some statements of Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab, and I'm going to be extracting and deriving these statements from a book that addresses this topic, a book called Manhaj Al-Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab fi Mas'alat Takfir, the methodology of this Imam concerning the topic of takfir. It was written by the professor Nasir ibn Abdul Karim al-Aql, and it is over 400 pages with the references of the statements of this Imam. Also another book that addresses this topic in detail is the book Misbah al-Dhalam في الرد على من كذب شيخ الإمام ونسبه إلى تكفير أهل الإيمان والإسلام, addressing this doubt that those who say Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab rahimahullah was a takfiri. It's close to 500 pages with the exact statements of this Imam and addressing each doubt. The first statement that I wanted to share of Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab rahimahullah from his mu'allafat, the book relating to the risalas, the treatises and articles of Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab, page 11 of section number 3. He says, وَإِذَا كُنَّا لَا نُكَفِّرْ مَنْ عَبَدَ الصَّنَمْ الَّذِي عَلَى قَبْرِ عَبْدِ الْقَادِرِ. If we do not declare the one who worships the idol on the grave of Abdul Qadir, and also the statue and the idol that's on the grave of Ahmed al-Badawi and their likes, due to their ignorance and not someone being there to give them awareness, and then he says, then how could we make takfir? فَكَيْفَ نُكَفِّرْ مَنْ لَا يُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ إِذَا لَمْ يُهَاجِرْ إِلَيْنَا وَلَمْ يُكَفِّرْ وَيُقَاتِلْ. How could we declare someone to be a disbeliever who doesn't commit shirk and doesn't migrate to us? Also from what he has said, Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab rahimahullah, he says, وَأَمَّا مَا ذَكَرَ الْأَعْدَاءَ أَنِّي أُكَفِّرْ بِالظَّنِّ وَبِالْمُوَالَةِ. He says, what as for what the enemies have mentioned concerning me, that I excommunicate the people due to assumption or conjecture, وَبِالْمُوَالَةِ, and by mere support of the opposition, أو أكفر الجاهل الذي لم تقم عليه الحجة فهذا بهتان عظيم, or that I remove the ignorant one, the one that the hujjah hasn't yet been established upon him, I remove him out of the fold of Islam. He says, فهذا بهتان عظيم. This is a great slander. Also from what he has said, Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab was mentioned of his exact statements with the reference, وَإِنَّمَا نُكَفِّرْ مَنْ أَشْرَكَ بِاللَّهِ فِي إِلَهِيَتِهِ بَعْدَمَا نُبَيِّنْ لَهُ الْحُجَّةِ عَلَى بُطْلَانِ الشِّرْكِ. He says, we only excommunicate those who associate partners with Allah in His worship, His uluhiyah, after we clarify to him the hujjah, we establish the hujjah upon him of this shirk being invalid, proving him wrong, clarify to him where he understands. There then. And also he mentions, وَلَكِنْ نُكَفِّرْ مَنْ أَقَرَّ بِدِينِ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ ثُمَّ عَادَاهُ وَصَدَّ النَّاسِ عَنْهُ. He says, however, we make takfir on those who acknowledge the religion of Allah and His Messenger, then show enmity towards it, and hinders the people from it, and worships the idols. بعدما عرف أنها دين للمشركين, after he comes to know that this is the religion of the polytheists and the pagans. وزينه للناس, and he adorns them for the people. فهذا الذي أكفره, وكل عالم على وجه الأرض يكفر هؤلاء إلا رجلا معاندا أو جاهلا والله أعلم. He said, this is the person that I declare takfir on. And he said, every scholar on the face of the earth makes takfir on these type of people, except someone that is stubborn or ignorant. And he says, Allah knows best. These are the words of Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab. And also, the doubt that some of them say that Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab has declared majority of the ummah to be kuffar. He didn't spare except a few people that followed him. Let's read another quote where Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab says, وَأَمَّا التَّكْفِيرُ فَأَنَا أُكَفِّرُ مَنْ عَرَفَ دِينَ الرَّسُولِ ثُمَّ بَعْدَمَا عَرَفَهُ سَبَّهُ. He says, as for concerning takfir, excommunicating the people, removing them out of the fold of Islam. He says, I declare that a person to be a kafir who knows the religion of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then comes, after knowing it, begins to insult it or curses it. وَنَهَى النَّاسَ عَنْهُ, and forbids the people from it. وَعَادَ مَنْ فَعَلَهُ, and shows enmity towards those who act upon it. فَهَذَا الَّذِي أُكَفِّرُهُ, this is the one that I declare takfir upon. And then he says, وَأَكْثَرُ الْأُمَّةِ وَلِلَّهِ الْحَمْدُ لَيْسُ كَذَلِكَ. He said, Paul praise due to Allah, that the majority of the ummah is not in that manner. Also, what was translated of these quotes and put into English was a PDF titled, Did Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab revolt against the Ottomans after making takfir? It's a treatise put together. And from the quotes that they translated with the references is a statement of Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab saying, as for the saying that we make takfir generally, then that is a falsehood invented by the enemies who block people from the deen by it. We say, glory be to Allah, this is a clear lie. And he says also from them, the false allegations that you mentioned, that I make takfir of all of the Muslim except for those who follow me. This is incorrect. It is strange how this could even enter the mind of an intelligent person, or this is stated by a Muslim, or a disbeliever, or an astrologer, or even a person that has lost his intellect. And these words are really bizarre. We'll play now a clip of Sheikh Muhammad Salih Al-Uthaymeen, where he describes this affair and shows that Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab was from those people that were moderate and they weren't reckless concerning takfir.
قلت عن شيخ الإسلام محمد بن الوهاب فها أنا أعرف. أولا يقول رحمه الله في كتاب وجهه إلى من يصل إليه من المسلمين يعني نصيحة عامة، قال أخبركم أني ولله الحمد عقيدتي وديني الذي أدين الله به مذهب أهل السنة والجماعة الذي عليه أئمة المسلمين. ثم مضى يقول وأما التكفير مجلد 1 صفحة 51. وأما التكفير فأنا أكفر من عرف دين الرسول، أكفر من عرف دين الرسول ثم بعدما عرفه سبه ونهى الناس عنه وعاد من فعله. وفي صفحة 56 في كتاب كتبه إلى عالم من أهل العراق مثل هذا الكلام سواء. وفي
So Sheikh Muhammad Salih Al-Uthaymeen begins to cite the statements of this Imam, clarifying how moderate he was concerning takfir, and that he was upon the creed of Ahl Sunnah.
في جواب سؤال ولا نكفر إلا ما أجمع عليه العلماء كلهم وهو.
And he mentions the statement of Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab, we only make takfir upon that which the scholars unanimously agree upon.
شهادتان وأيضا نكفره بعد التعريف إذا عرف فهم.
And also he mentions that he makes takfir after informing and identifying the person concerning the matter, so establishing the hujjah.
ثم ماذا يقول صفحة 66 وأما الكذب والبهتان فمثل قوله إنا نكفر بالعموم ونوجب الهجرة إلينا على من قتل على إظهار دينه وأننا نكفر من لم يكفر أو من لم يكفر ومن لم يقاتل ومثل هذا وأضعاف أضعافه فكل هذا من الكذب والبهتان الذي يصدون به الناس عن دين الله ورسوله. وإذا كنا لا نكفر من عبد الصنم الذي على عبد القادر والصنم الذي على قبر أحمد البدوي وأمثالهما.
So he's reading some of the quotes of what we previously cited, and he's going to comment further.
أجل جهلهم وعدم من ينبههم فكيف نكفر من لم يشرك بالله إذا لم يهاجر إليه. صحيح هذا ولا لا؟ الصنم الذي على عبد القادر والصنم الذي على قبر أحمد لأجل جهله لا نكفرهم لأجل جهلهم وعدم من ينبههم فكيف نكفر من لم يشرك بالله إذا لم يهاجر إليه. شيخ الإسلام أيضا له كلام أبين من هذا وأكثر وأعظم في أنه لا بد من قيام الحجة.
So Sheikh Muhammad Salih Al-Uthaymin mentions that Sheikh Islam Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab rahimahullah has further speech that he has, that Sheikh Islam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab has more statements that are clear, showing that he is someone that gives the excuse of udhr bil-jahl, excuse if a person is ignorant at times. And so those who come and take some of his speech out of context, where he once mentioned that a person, if he's ignorant, he could be a disbeliever by it. That was in a specific context, and it was used with a wording, qad. It could possibly, showing that this is something depending on what it is. There's certain things that a person is not excused for. So it's a general statement, it's ambiguous.
هذا الذي يقوله محمد بن عبد الوهاب وجماعته إلى اليوم معروفين نجديين أو سعوديين، هؤلاء وجدوا بعد ابن تيمية بنحو تقريبا 400 سنة 500 سنة. فابن تيمية يقول بقولهم، وبالمعنى الأدق هم يقولون بقول ابن تيمية.
So I wanted to address here an audio clip for Sheikh Albani rahimahullah, where Sheikh Albani mentions that Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab, his statement is the statements of Sheikh Islam ibn Taymiyyah, no different. And those who come and try to show that there's a difference in the methodology of takfeer between Ibn Taymiyyah and Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab, that's not correct. Also, from the allegations that they said that Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab, he declared the Muslims to be kuffar and made their wealth and properties ghanima, a war booty. And Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab, he himself responded to this allegation, as is found in his majmu'ah of his articles, volume 5, page 26. Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab says, فَلَمَّا أَظْهَرَ التَّصْدِيقُ الرَّسُولِ فِيمَا جَاءَ بِهِ سَبُّونِي غَايَةَ الْمَسَبَّةِ وَزَعَمُوا أَنِّي أُكَفِّرُ أَهْلَ الْإِسْلَامِ وَأَسْتَحِلُّ أَمْوَالَهُمْ. So he mentions where Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab mentioned certain affairs that was predicted by the Prophet ﷺ, and he came in truth of certain affairs of shirk returning. They began to curse him, and they would claim that he is labeling the Muslims as kuffar and deeming their wealth to be halal. Also from the statements that they misunderstand and they take out of context is the statement Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab, where he says, وَأَنَا أُخْبِرُكُمْ عَنْ نَفْسِي وَاللَّهِ الَّذِي لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُوَ لقد طلبت العلم واعتقد من عرفني أن لي معرفة وأن ذلك الوقت لا أعرف معنى لا إله إلا الله. He speaks about his personal affair and his particular village, particular area, where he didn't know at the very beginning the meaning of La ilaha illallah, nor did he know the religion of Islam before this goodness that Allah has guided him to. And he mentions even his teachers, none of them actually knew this affair of that particular region that he was in. And he mentions فَمَنْ زَعَمَ مِنْ عُلَمَاء الْعَارِض أَنَّهُ عَرَفَ مَعْنَى لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ أو عَرَفَ مَعْنَى الإسلام قبل هذا الوقت أو زعم عن مشايخ أن أحدا عرف ذلك فقد كذب وافترى ولبس على الناس ومدح نفسه بما ليس فيه. So he mentions that even others of the ulama, the scholars of that region, or their teachers, if they were to say that they knew the meaning of La ilaha illallah prior, then they have confused the people and they went and falsely uttered a statement. This is concerning a particular place and time, and it's emphasizing a particular affair, it doesn't mean that everyone prior to this timing were all kuffar and no one knew the meaning of it. La ilaha illallah. That's incorrect. Another doubt that I wanted to clarify is they address and they say that Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab made takfir on the Ottoman Empire. And they quote the statement of Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab in Durur al-Saniyah, فَمَا لَمْ يُكَفِّرِ الْمُشْرِكِينَ مِنَ الدَّوْلَةِ التُّرْكِيَّةِ وعباد القبور كأهل مكة وغيرهم ممن عبد الصالحين وعدل عن توحيد الله إلى الشرك. That whoever doesn't declare the mushrikeen, the polytheists, from amongst the Turkish dawla government and the ubad al-qubur and the grave worshippers, such as the people of Mecca and other than them, who worship the righteous and averted from tawheed to shirk and changed the sunnah of the Messenger ﷺ to innovation, then he is a kafir like them. This statement of Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab, he's talking about the pagans, the clear people that are doing shirk. And there was people there at that time, from amongst them, worshipping the grave. Some of them will prostrate to it. Some will do sacrifice. Some of them do things believing that the awliya have control of specific qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And yes, there are from some of the ulama of Najd, others, that may have declared takfir on the Ottoman Empire of the latter rulership of it. Not the earlier part, but the last stage of it, where it increased of various of acts, and speaking about the particular affair, generally not on every individual from the Ottoman Empire, but just speaking about what they promoted of what was known for the government of the latter time. And it doesn't mean, as has been written and clarified in books, that those scholars were making takfir of the whole Ottoman Empire or every individual from them. Also, I want to mention that Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab, he's like Shaykh Islam ibn Taymiyyah. That there were certain scholars that fell into kufr and certain affairs where they did not make takfir on them, maybe due to the hujjah not being established upon them, or so on, from certain reasons. Where I'll give you an example, Al-Busayri, the one who said about in his poem that about the Prophet ﷺ, min ulumika ilmu al-lawhi wal-qalami, from your knowledge is knowledge of the pen and the lawh al-mahfuz, and also from your goodness is this life and the hereafter, and also on the different wordings. If you read of the poem that contains wordings of disbelief, but he didn't leave anything for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, gave it all like to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab, in one of his letters, where he's addressing some of the fabrications, he says, Allah knows that the man ascribed to me what I never said, and did not even occur to me. One such ascription is that the people for the last 600 years had not been on the right path. And that's what they say. That Imam Muhammad said that everybody for the 600 years wasn't on the right path. And that I hold anyone who seeks the intercession of pious people to be a disbeliever. That he does takfir for tawassul. This is a clear lie. Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab doesn't do that. And that I hold Al-Busayri to be a disbeliever. Another lie. My answer to all of this is nothing more than a false accusation. So all of this has been responded to. It's upon us to fear Allah. And we should know that if this Imam made a statement, an error in a specific wording, maybe he was vague in a particular wording, But we know his intention, we know what he has clarified, and we know what his belief is according to Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. We should never come and falsely accuse this Imam to be a takfiri. We should be just, and we know that we're going to be asked concerning this affair. And those who oppress this Imam, they will stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a great matter. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to pardon us and to guide us. And I think another affair that I wanted to mention is that some of these people who make these allegations against Imam Muhammad bin Abdul-Wahaab are the same people that make excuses for their scholars that have worse affairs when it comes to takfir, such as Sayyid Qutb. Like for example, Sayyid Qutb, he says in his Dhilal al-Quran, he says, لَقَدْ اسْتَدَارَ الزَّمَانِ كَهَيْئَتِهِ يَوْمَ جَاءَ هَذَا الدِّينِ إِلَى الْبَشَرِيَّةِ بِلَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. He says, verily, time has changed to like how it has come on, the religion has come to the humans when La ilaha illallah came. فَقَدْ ارْتَدَّتِ الْبَشَرِيَّةِ إِلَى عِبَادَةِ الْعِبَادِ. Ibadat al-ibad says, verily, the people have apostated, or the people have went back to worshipping the servants. وَإِلَى جَوْرِ الْأَدْيَانِ, and to oppression of the deens, of the religions. وَنَقِسَتْ عَنْ لَا إِلَهِ إِلَّا اللَّهِ, and went back away from La ilaha illallah. وَإِنْ ظَلَّ فَرِيقٌ مِنْهَا يُرَدِّدُهَا على المآذن لا إله إلا الله دون أن يدرك مدلولها. He says, even if a group from them repeat La ilaha illallah on the adhans, they're still disbelievers. Meaning, also what he said, and another wording of his, he said, البشرية عادت إلى الجاهلية. The Bashariya, mankind, has returned to pre-Islamic ignorance. وارتدت عن لا إله إلا الله, and apostated from لا إله إلا الله. فأعطت لهؤلاء العباد خصائص الألوهية, and they have given the servants specific qualities of uluhiyya. And he mentions البشرية بجملتها بما فيها أولئك الذين يرددون المآذن. And he mentions the Bashariya, mankind in general, and even those, يعني بجملتها, all of them, even those who contain in them, who repeat the adhan في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها كلمات لا إله إلا الله, in the east of the earth and the west of them. This is takfir, واضح يا أخوان. And Yusuf Qardawi, from their own, who has even attested that the fikr of Sayyid Qutb has is takfiri. He has extremism in takfir. Sayyid Qutb, the same person that some of his own close companions wrote about him, that when they would speak to him about the meat of the people, of the Muslims, he says they're Ahlul Kitab. Also from his statement, he says, إِنَّ هَذَا الْمُجْتَمَعَ الْجَاهِلِي الَّذِي نَعِيشْ فِيهِ لَيْسَ هُوَ الْمُجْتَمَعَ الْمُسْلِمِ. He says the Muslim society that we live in, it's not a Muslim society. He says the society that we live in is pre-Islamic ignorance, is jahili, and it's not a Muslim society. Also he mentions that الحكم بتوقف وجود الإسلام في الأرض اليوم وإعادة النظر في دعوى مئات الملايين من الناس أنهم مسلمون. And that has to be paused of there being said there's a ruling of Islam today, and it has to be looked into if all these people are even Muslims. Also from what he said in his book ظلال القرآن, ليس على وجه الأرض اليوم دولة مسلمة ولا مجتمع مسلم. He says there's no on the face of earth today a Muslim country